endless skies. Oh, I'm living that nomad life, city to city, feeling alive. From mountain tops to ocean drives, unchained, I thrive, I thrive.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Nomads 50 Plus. My name is Chris Kalaboukis, and it's my current mission to interview 1,000 digital nomads. That's right, folks, 1,000 digital nomads about how awesome their life is, and to help those of you who are aspiring digital nomads realize that the life is not as scary as you think. And not only that, you'll probably be happier than you've ever been in your entire life. We have a very special guest today. Why don't you tell us your name and a little bit about yourself and how you got into this?
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Chris. Super excited about our conversation today and the mission, because I believe that we do need to spread this magic and convince others to, I guess, take the leap.
Yes.
I've been a digital nomad for just over 10 years now.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Did you have your 10-year anniversary? Did you have a cake or anything like that?
I actually didn't. I'm so bad at celebrating these things, but yeah, and it's funny now that I think about it, it's going on 11 years soon.
Nice.
But time flies. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's been a while. I started when people thought I was a little bit crazy and they didn't quite understand like what remote work was, but it was my mission at that time to show them it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to the pandemic in 2020, I think it became more of the norm, which is really nice. I think it just gave people, or actually forced people, into a position where they could try it out without having to intentionally, make the changes prior to then. But yeah, I was just always passionate about travel. I've been recruiting for almost 20 years. A good chunk of that first, 9 years was with an agency. And then I just knew I had this burning desire to travel and work at the same time. So that I, ended up creating a lifestyle business that allowed me to do what I love and travel at the same time.
Nice. So have you always liked to travel? Like when you were younger, did your parents take you around and stuff?
So it was always something that I wanted to do myself. Unfortunately, my parents couldn't afford it. So when I was 12, I actually got a part-time job and paid for my own trip to Cancun, Mexico.
Nice.
So, yeah,
you were 12 when you went to Cancun?
I was 12. I asked my aunt and uncle if they would take me with them, and they said yes. And little did I know that I would be spending a lot more time in my 40s in Mexico in the same region. So It's kind of cool. Full circle.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, you went and you fell in love with it, and now you're there. It's amazing.
I'm here. So I think when I was 12, I was planting seeds and I didn't even realize it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So, and after that, did you travel a lot after that? Like, did you just like make money to travel to different places, or did you stop traveling for a while?
When I was in university, I traveled a lot throughout the Caribbean. I moved to Thailand right after I graduated.
Wow. That must have been a big leap.
It was. And it wasn't like, I tried it out for a couple of months. It wasn't really like my vibe. So I actually flew to Barbados, and the day I landed in Barbados was the day of the tsunami in Thailand.
Oh no. Good timing.
Yeah. And it was funny because we didn't really have social media then. So I remember just getting to the airport and landing and all my friends being like, did you hear what happened in Thailand? And I had no idea.
Wow.
We didn't have Instagram back then. But yeah, so I lived in the Caribbean for a bit. And then when I joined the firm as a headhunter, it was funny because they had said to me, well, this is 100% commission. And to me, that was unlimited weeks vacation. So I was like,
yeah, exactly. You work, when you work, you make money. When you don't work, you don't make any money. That's the way it is. So you don't need PTO. You don't need anything.
Exactly. And I think that was my biggest fear in joining any other company at that time when I was, starting on in my career, was just like, how is someone going to only give me 2 weeks vacation? Like that was a nightmare.
So not enough. 2 weeks is never enough. Never enough.
Crazy. I still can't believe to this day that exists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah. And then also to be told when you can take them.
Right.
It's like, that's a whole other thing.
Forget that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, let me
Let's
ask
be
for
real.
permission. Yeah, exactly. So that was just never my vibe from a very young age. And so, yeah, in my early 20s is when I started recruiting, and partly because it was what I love to do, which was connect people, but also I knew that I could travel as much as I want. And when I was at the agency, I was averaging probably like 2 to 3 months of travel a year, which was pretty awesome.
Nice. Nice.
Then,
So
yeah.
your first job was with an agency that was 100% commission, so you could work from anywhere. You were already location independent from that,
So
or
I wasn't necessarily location independent, but it was because it was 100% commission and you eat what you kill, you're very motivated to continue working when you're on vacation.
right,
So I
right.
think it was actually, when I would be away is when I realized like I can really do this from anywhere. I don't need
Mm,
to be tied to a desk. And so I think it was that sort of gave me the insight into knowing that like I can be successful and run this business from anywhere, which
yeah.
is what motivated me to leave the agency.
Did they care where you were? They just wanted you to produce, basically, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they were amazing, but and as much as my mentor, and she's still a great friend to this day, she couldn't get or wrap her head around the concept of working remotely all the time. So
Mm,
she really
mm.
had this like 9 to 5 at the desk. I mean,
But
she's completely
pre-COVID, a lot of companies had that. A lot of people had
right.
that pre-COVID. It's like
And this was
they couldn't figure it out.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, this was also like 2010, 11. So it just wasn't really a thing. And I kept saying like, open up an office in Florida. Like I'll open up the office. I just wanted out of Toronto so bad. And then I was like, okay, if you're not
Please, I
opening up
need
an
to leave
office,
Canada. Anything.
exactly. Then I was like, I just gotta go. So it was actually like bittersweet because I loved working for her. I loved the team. I loved my work. It was just I needed to be able to just be anywhere in the world at any given time.
And they wouldn't let you go, even though you're a really good, like you did a great job for them. They wouldn't bend for that. That's crazy.
We didn't at the time.
Mm,
Now it's very different.
of
And
course.
it's funny because we often connect and she's like, you figured it out. Like this is exactly and she's now more motivated to work remotely and travel and and incorporate that into her life, which I love, and I love that I can influence her that way.
Nice.
But the company is definitely way more remote now. It's
Yeah.
optional.
Yeah. Well, you see, the thing is that I don't even understand why any company would do anything other than, of course, if it's this kind of work. Obviously, if you're working with physical objects or whatever, that's one thing. But if it's
Yeah.
all software, it's all online, why do you even need
Yeah.
an office? Why do you need anything? Just become a virtual corporation. And it took COVID to force companies to do that when they could have done that before they had the technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and that's even like how I run my business. Like a lot of people were like, are you leaving to open up your own agency? And I was like, the thought of having like a brick and mortar place and things and being responsible for other humans, I was just like, no, I'm just gonna work from my laptop from wherever I am in the world and produce. And it's been amazing so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that
Yeah.
seems like it's tougher on time zones though. Do you normally stay in the same time zones as your clients?
So the majority of my clients are in North America. My absolute favorite time zone to work in is Europe.
Mm.
So I love to be in Europe because I wake up, I'm a morning person. So I wake up super early and I have an entire day
Oh yeah.
to
Yeah, that's the
myself.
best.
Yeah, before starting my calls at 2 or 2:30. I'm not really much of a night person, so I'm happy to work, a solid 2 to 6, 2 to 7 a day, squeeze all my calls in, and I feel I really feel like I have 2 days when I work in
Nice.
Europe. Yeah,
Nice.
but
Yeah, no,
then
same for me. I mean, I'm a remote worker as well, and I work on East Coast time zone. So even though I'm in California, I work East Coast time zone. So when I'm in Europe, it's like 4 to 12. It's like it's
It's the
perfect.
best.
Of course, the problem
It is.
is when you're in Greece and Europe, a lot of these places don't really even kick off until it gets dark, so you kind of miss some of
Exactly.
that. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's like you're right. You get like a full day, practically a full day, doing whatever you want during the day, and then you
Yeah.
work at night, and it's just great.
It's,
You're right. You almost double up. You
yeah.
double your days. It's great.
Totally. It's my favorite. Although I will say, like, I've tried and I have done like Asia and Australia. I was in Nepal and even Indonesia. Like I've done them, but they're brutal. I don't feel very productive when I'm there. I mean, there's huge digital nomad communities, but with the North American time zones, it's a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah. No, I have a guy. I
Yeah.
know a guy who is a graphic designer, and he moved to Thailand,
Yeah.
and he works with U.S. clients in Thailand, and he's constantly on the phone in the middle of the night, and it's like I don't
Yeah.
know if I could do that.
No, I've done it and it's not fun. And I was like, it's just, you don't enjoy your day because you're exhausted from
Yeah.
having to take calls at either, 4:30 in the morning. And so I tend to use those destinations as more of a vacation. Oh,
Yeah.
there's
Oh, that's
balloons.
nice.
Yeah, party time. But yeah, Europe for sure, hands down, my favorite.
So where have you been? So what was your first? So when you left, you said you went to Mexico when you were 12, but then after that, where have you been? You know,
So I lived in the Caribbean. I spent some time in Thailand. This was in my early 20s. And then I traveled a lot throughout my career while I was at an agency, Europe, Asia, US,
hmm
Caribbean. And then when I left and became a digital nomad, I spent a lot of time in the US, Mexico, South America, Europe, some
Oh,
Asia.
sounds like you've been everywhere. How do you decide where to
Yeah.
go?
Really, it's just like how I feel. Whatever I sometimes I just sit down and I'm like, where do I feel pulled to? I've definitely slowed down a lot over the last couple of years. And now I like to be rooted for 3 to 6 months if possible.
hmm
So I think that's where like Mexico comes in and it just gives me like a solid 6 months a year in the same place, which is really nice.
Plus, you're not in the
Um,
snow. No snow.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, it's usually just like an intuitive pull,
hmm
and it's more like, do I feel like going somewhere where I'm familiar and I know, or do I feel like exploring something new?
Wow. And you work wherever you go. So
Yeah,
you're never off the clock.
no. I mean, like I'm really good at giving myself breaks.
hmm
And when I have to be heads down, I can be heads down. But if I want to take a month or two and kind of coast, I'll do that too.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So do you find
Yeah.
you kind of need a lot of self-discipline to do that though, right? I mean, you can't just if you're one of those people who had a really strict job which said, okay, you have to do this, this, and this, and now you're kind of free to do whatever you want, you do have to kind of discipline yourself, right?
100%.
Mm,
100%. Yeah, I find like I always plan my day in advance, kind of take a look at my calendar, where I have to be, when I have to be, when I need to be, somewhere where I can take calls, when I can be at a coffee shop or doing something else. So yes, you definitely need to know like where am I most productive for what type of work and make sure that you're in those environments.
hmm
Yeah.
So you said you don't, do you have your own agency now? Or,
Yes.
okay, so you did eventually take the leap and do your own thing.
Yes. I just structured it very differently.
Mm. How,
Yes.
how did you structure it?
So I don't have a physical office.
hmm
I don't have any employees on payroll. So I outsource work as needed. But yeah, it's very, very lean. So it's my laptop, my phone, LinkedIn, and that's about it.
That's it. What do you outsource? What do you outsource?
So if I have a bunch of roles that I myself cannot fill, I have dedicated recruiters that I will reach out to who can help sort of offset the workload if I ever feel that it's not something that I can handle
hmm
myself. Yeah.
Nice. And
Yeah.
so, how do you get your clients? Are they just companies that worked with you in the past, or do you
Yeah,
pull for new ones?
so I have some clients that I've been working with since like 2009. And a lot of the clients I do work with are come through referrals. So if a lot of my clients will refer other people in their network to me. And I actually did start utilizing LinkedIn about a year and a half ago.
A
Um,
recruiter that hasn't been using LinkedIn? Oh my God. What is
yeah, I
this?
know it's crazy. I mean, I definitely
You're
have
like an
used
outlier. I thought all you ever did was spend time on LinkedIn if you're a recruiter.
Yeah. Well, more like on the front end of it. I never really
Right,
talked about me or who I am. It was more in the back end, searching for candidates. And
right.
it was very, I went in not really knowing what it would be like. And it turned out that I got some really great leads and made a lot of money
Nice.
that I wouldn't have if I didn't jump on. So it was nice to have that as well. But I am a very much like in real life person. So online it's like, it's something that I incorporate, but I don't like to depend fully on it.
But it's funny because your entire business is online,
Yeah.
but you're
But
but you like being, yeah.
I love networking. I love networking in real life, but I feel that like LinkedIn has given me an opportunity to spend less time in North America
Hmm. Well, see,
because
that's
I
good.
don't know.
You're leveraging it to keep yourself away from the country.
Yeah. I think like LinkedIn is like a 24-hour trade show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always open, even at 3
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah, exactly. So that part, I mean, I'm so grateful for it. So it helps a lot. Yeah.
Fantastic. And then you mentioned earlier about you were saying you spent 3 months here, 6 months here, whatever. Doesn't that sort of butt up against some visa restrictions and requirements and stuff like that, or do you always stay like less than the requirement?
Yeah. I always make sure I move when I need to. So I actually did get my residency in Mexico a few years
Mm.
ago.
Hmm.
But I typically have not stayed over the 6 months. And Mexico is a little bit easier because you could just exit and come back.
Yeah.
Um, but I just
Oh,
thought,
you don't have to exit and stay away for a certain period of time like you do in
no,
Europe. Oh, that's
no,
useful.
very useful. And so with Europe, the challenge is it's 6 months a year, but you have to break it up 3 months
Oh
on,
yeah,
three
you got to be
months
3 months in the Schengen and out. It's like,
exactly.
do you spend more than 3 months in Europe, or do you?
No, so I do the Schengen shuffle.
Yeah.
So I'll do 3 months a year in Europe, and then I use those other 3 months to discover a new place. So one year I did Israel. So that was summer 2023. Then following year I did Cyprus.
Mm. I hear
Um,
Cyprus is beautiful. I've never been, but I hear it's beautiful.
yeah, it is. It's kind of like Greek vibes.
Hmm.
Super cool, very similar. Like you feel like you're in Greece. Really easy to get around. The people are super nice. This year I'm thinking Turkey. I haven't been
Mm.
yet. So it would be like a good 3 months to spend there. So I usually leave those other 3 months open and kind of be like, where do I want to
Yeah,
be?
because you could stay in that continent, but just not in Europe, right? Because you can go to there's like plenty of countries that are outside of the EU
Yeah.
that you can bounce back and
Yes.
forth to,
For sure.
and
And then
you
they
can stay in
keep
that
they
area.
keep adding countries to the Schengen. So like at one point it was like I was gonna spend time in Croatia, which I have before, but then they joined the Schengen, then Bulgaria and Romania joined the
Oh
Schengen.
no!
Yeah, so they keep eating up all these countries, but I'm just like, you just have to navigate.
Don't they know that that's hell for digital nomads? They got to stop doing that.
It
They got to stop
is.
eating up
I
all those
know.
countries.
I agree. I agree. It's very frustrating, but I am working on getting my Portuguese citizenship, so this problem will be
Oh, so you're
solved.
born to Portugal too. Nice.
Yeah, my mom's family is Portuguese, my dad's family is Italian, and
Well, there you go.
so
You
I'm
got
in
two
the
lineages
process.
right there. Easy.
Yeah, it just takes a long time.
Yeah, I hear
I
the
wish I had
Italian
it soon.
one. I hear the Italian one is real hard to get. So the Portuguese is probably easier.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is a lot more challenging, and the Portuguese one is just in process, but it just takes forever.
Yeah,
So
But you can
Fingers
go to
crossed.
any country in the EU and get a citizenship there, right? And then you can live anywhere else in the EU.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
Okay,
plan.
that's good to know because I have a Greek citizenship, so I can
Yeah.
go anywhere, which is good. But I need to get my wife on it too.
Yes.
So otherwise, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
ship you off
Come
to
on.
Armenia. I have to ship you off to Albania for 3 months, and then that's not gonna
Yes.
happen.
Um, where in Greece is your favorite spot?
Oh, too many to mention. But my mom is from Marousi, which is just north of Athens, and my dad is from Andros, one of the islands off the coast. And we spend time in Naxos,
Love.
in Santorini, Paros, Crete, like all over the place. Like too many to mention. Too many to mention. I try to go back.
Yeah.
That's where like I'm kind of like a part-time digital nomad, so we try to spend like as much time in Europe as possible. But no, I love it. So what
That's
about so you're like this is how you fund your travels, right? Is through your work, and
yeah.
are you doing anything else? Like, do you have any other side hustles going, or is it basically just that?
So I think LinkedIn was sort of the gateway to the online world. And it's always been a goal of mine to make money when I sleep.
Hmm.
And
It's
so,
all of our goals, all of
yeah.
our goals.
And I was like, I love headhunting, but I'm always just like as good as my last placement.
Exactly.
And it's great money, but I'm like, what if I really want to slow down? So I've been toying with the idea of putting together some digital products, which are
Hmm.
in the works, which is how I kind of found my way over to Substack, which is where we connected.
Nice.
And yeah, there's a lot of people that reach out for coaching, and as much as it's something that I love to do, it's an opportunity cost because it takes me
Yes.
away from the headhunting. So I'm like, how can I add value for these aspiring, you know, recruiters who want to do what I do?
Yep.
And it's very simple. So I'm like, how about I put together some things that can sort of help guide them and push them over the edge. So
Hmm.
that's what I've been working on. And we'll see. It's going to be a lot of just like A/B testing, and I'm curious to see how it goes, but I think it'll just be a constant evolution.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about healthcare. So have you ever had any issues with it?
No, knock on wood.
Not at all? Like nothing?
No,
Like can you like
no.
do you have like international healthcare plan or how do you handle it?
So I don't. And as a Canadian, even though we have access to free healthcare, I usually, when I'm in Europe, I'll just go to the doctor and I'll
Right.
do appointments when I'm there. And I just feel like it's very affordable. The healthcare is great. So I'll usually do anything health related when I'm there.
And what about Mexico? Is Mexico good too?
Mexico is, I haven't had to go anywhere, but I've had friends who have, and I've had friends who have had surgery down here and it's been fine. I've had friends, who have had to go to the hospital for whatever reason. A lot of scooter accidents here,
That
unfortunately.
happens a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, the feedback I get is that it's great and they've had a great experience. Yeah.
But you don't have a plan anywhere. You just sort of I mean, obviously you have Canadian healthcare when you're in Canada, but
Yeah.
you didn't buy like a Genki or any other kind of international healthcare plan or anything like that because you just pay out of
No.
pocket wherever you are.
Yes.
And it's pretty cheap, right? Wherever you've been.
Yeah. Super affordable.
See, that's the
Yeah.
thing about Americans. We're also paranoid about the cost of healthcare, but only because it's expensive here, right?
Exactly.
When you go elsewhere, it's like
Yeah.
it's peanuts. But we think
Yeah.
that then it's not worth anything. But people have talked about how they can do complete workups. Like in Kuala
Wow.
Lumpur, we have Nomad Jim, who I interviewed once, does a complete 1 day workup with X-rays, MRIs, everything in 1 day, $300 end to end, and gets the entire thing done in one setting. And I'm like, that would have been hundreds of thousands of dollars here. It
It's
is just,
insane. It's
yeah,
insane. It's funny because I actually had to go to the hospital once when I was in Florida, and I had insurance, and I can't remember if it was through my credit card or something, but it was just to go into Emerge. It was $5,000.
Yeah.
I was there for maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that, of course this is scary for people that are here because it does cost a lot.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that we have this mindset that it's expensive, but everywhere else in the world, it's actually expensive and good. That's the other thing, is that they think it's
Yes.
cheap. Like when you hear, oh, it's only $300 for this or $50 for that, it's like, oh, it can't be any good, right? If it's that. But that's not the case at all.
Totally. I think the healthcare system in Europe, every experience I've had has been amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't know, it's like, I feel like too with Canada, because it's free, you're more like you're treated like cattle.
Yeah.
Where when you're paying for
and it's not really free because your taxes are still being paid, right? You still have to pay your taxes, and they're pretty high.
Yeah, they're astronomically high.
Yeah.
So exactly. So it's not free, but I'm like, it's the best of the worst. That's what I call it. Yeah.
So speaking of taxes, how do you deal with that? I mean, you said you're a Canadian citizen, plus you're a Mexican citizen. Now you're going to be a Portuguese citizen. It's like, sounds like it must be a nightmare.
It is a nightmare because all the places that I love are high tax brackets. So I am in the process of rejigging my tax structure. I'm just kind of finalizing where it is that I want my tax residency to be. But that is something that's in the works for this year because I've been putting it off for too long and I'm paying a lot of tax.
You're still paying to Canada, right? You're still paying to Canada? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you hardly spend any time in Canada, so that seems odd that you do that.
Exactly. It's just me being lazy, so I need to get on it. It's it's definitely going to be done this year.
Have you picked a country to be domiciled in yet?
So for digital nomad, I mean, there's so many options. It's just I really don't want to have to live in a country.
Yeah.
Just for tax purposes. And I think some of the ones that are super advantageous, they're just not countries I want to live in. For example, like Dubai. Like
do you have to live there? Because one of the other guys I interviewed, he has his company in Dubai and he doesn't live in Dubai. I think he's in Thailand.
So it's interesting because I get mixed reviews and I just need to get the final answer. But I have some friends who have recently set up their companies in Dubai. And if the last person I spoke to that did it, who is Canadian, said that if you spend 6 months outside and you can prove that it's for work purposes, that's okay. But if you are not in Dubai all year round, that the Canadian government can come after something.
No,
geez.
Yeah. You don't want the Canadian government coming after anything, that's for sure.
No, exactly. But I think like a popular one for digital nomads is Paraguay. I have a lot of friends that have their tax residency there. Panama as well.
And you don't need a long residence to be in those places or residence?
No, which is why it's definitely a place where a lot of digital nomads enjoy. I just have to, I think it's more just optically when I switch all my banking to different places, it's what that looks like for my current clients. I mean, some of my clients, they already know my life and how I live, and they're like, you just tell us where we need to pay you and we will. And I'm super grateful for those. But then maybe others will be like, wait, what are you doing?
Why is my money going to Estonia? Wait a second.
Exactly. So I'm like, But I mean, at least I have like the ones that, like they get it. They're on my team and I'm super grateful for that. They're like, whatever you need, you just tell us. And I'm like,
nice.
Yeah.
So how did your family take it when you first said you were going to do this? You were going to digital nomad around the world?
I think my family, they never held me back. I think even from like a young age, they just knew that I really was curious about the world and wanted to travel. And I think they really encouraged it. I think for a long time, it was just like, where in the world is Christine? I have no idea. Like I said, there was a point where I was speed traveling, which was insane. And I'd sometimes be in a new country every day or other day.
Wow. So you went
Yeah,
really fast at one point.
super fast. And then
Did
have
you just wanted to
definitely,
get it on your bucket list? Is that why? Why were
yeah,
you going through them
just
so
here,
fast?
there, let's go. Yeah, it was just how to see as many places in a short amount of time. But I've definitely slowed down a lot. And so now, yeah, I'm kind of more rooted. So before it was just they never knew where I was.
Hmm.
Um, but now they come and visit.
What about your friends when you were leaving? Where we're like, oh my God, we're never going to see you again. When are you going to be back?
I think my friends definitely thought I was crazy, but like I think it always starts that way. It's like first they call you crazy, then they call you lucky.
Yeah. And then they're like, when can I come visit you?
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, and I even in Mexico, the place that I rent, like I have a 3 bedroom here, so people can come visit.
Nice. That's
I love
huge.
to
I'm guessing you're
yeah,
probably paying nothing for it too, right?
yeah, it's super inexpensive. But I just like to be able to show others that like you can do this too. You know,
Hmm.
it's not that crazy. Like come take a look into how I live my life and it's very possible.
Yeah. Have you ever been lonely on the road though? I mean, it's because you don't really have anybody to hang out with or
So my sister is also a digital nomad
oh,
and
nice.
we work
Where is she
together.
right now? What country is she in?
She's actually in Mexico. She lives 3 minutes down the road.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah. So
So you're
sometimes
never lonely. She's with you.
yeah. So sometimes we overlap. Sometimes we're on our own journeys. But to be honest, because of the type of work that I do, I'm talking to people all day long.
Right.
And sometimes you need that alone time. And it's also nice to be somewhere where no one knows you and you can
Right.
just be in your own energy. Yeah.
And you've always been a pretty extroverted type of person too. So I'm assuming you talk to people and things like that.
Yeah. I'm a huge coffee shop. You know, I love going to coffee shops and working from there. I love becoming a regular somewhere. It's a great way to like integrate into different communities. And I find like that's sort of my social, you know, my socialization, whether it's
Nice.
like gym, yoga, coffee shop. I mean, there's so many people to talk to and from all over the world, which is always interesting. And then with work, it's like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like I need a minute to myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you're pretty hooked into the digital nomad communities wherever you go. Do you think that that's a good idea to hook into those communities?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. Like I don't necessarily need to meet other digital nomads. I just like to connect with humans. And whether
Mm,
they're people passing through or people that live somewhere or they're digital nomads, like I don't discriminate. I'm just like, if you're a cool person, like let's connect. Yeah, I'm
nice.
always curious as to how people end up in different places.
Yeah. Would you say that your personality, your extroversion helped in becoming a digital nomad?
I I think it was I don't know. That's an interesting question. I think it was more just being okay to be alone
Mm,
versus like how do I connect with other people? It's like are you okay to be alone?
mm,
And I think that's a struggle a lot of people have. But I think you soon realize that when you do go somewhere, that there's so many other people doing the same thing that you're
right.
actually not alone.
Right. So you're
Yeah.
alone, but you're not alone.
Yeah.
But you
And
must
I
spend
really do
time.
like my alone time.
But when
I
I
do.
mean, in person, in real life, you spend a lot of digital nomads, at least solo travelers that I know, they spend a lot of time, they spend time around other people, like when they're in their places, but they also spend a lot of time on their own. So you kind of have to be happy with both, right?
Yes. And sometimes, like, I intentionally go somewhere where I don't know a single soul. Like, once I spent 3 months in the Amalfi Coast, I didn't know
Oh,
any.
that's beautiful there. Did you drive?
I had a little scooter.
It's cool, huh?
Yeah. And I loved it. And I didn't know anyone. And there's no digital nomads in the Amalfi Coast. The people thought
Yeah,
I was insane. They
yeah.
literally were like, who is this alien that doesn't speak Italian? Who's just like here? And they call it smart working. They're like, oh, smart working. Yes, yes. They're like, come for dinner. I'm like, okay. It was
See
lovely.
now,
But
You did the scooter around the Amalfi Coast. Every time I tell people I drove around the Amalfi Coast, they freak out. They're like, "Oh my God, how did you do it? It's crazy. The roads are nuts." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"It wasn't that bad. In fact, a scooter would probably be even easier to navigate
Yeah.
on those
I mean, it
streets."
was scary. And I remember just like constantly praying when I was on my scooter and I was like, you're protected, you're protected, you're protected. And there's like these big buses coming.
The
Um,
buses are the thing, right? I mean,
the
like these
buses were
massively huge buses. I don't know how they do
oh,
it.
terrifying, but I was like, I got this. And it was stepping into my comfort zone. It was like, you don't know anyone. No one can drive you around. You don't have a car. Like, you need to figure this out. And it was beautiful.
Nice. No, I
Yeah.
love it there. It was great. I'd love to go back. So,
Yeah.
so speaking of not knowing the language, how's your Spanish? How's your Italian? How are all the other languages, places that you've been to? How
This
is it?
is this is the one thing that I'm most embarrassed about. And I think
Uh-oh.
as like a native English speaker, it's challenging because a lot of places they speak English. When
Mm,
I do go places that don't speak English, I mean, I get by,
yeah,
but I also feel like I'm never in a place long enough to really immerse myself in the language.
right.
And
Even though now that you've kind of slowed down and you're not fast traveling anymore, you still feel like that.
yeah, the problem with where I am in Mexico is everyone speaks English.
Mm,
Um, where I think if I immerse myself in a smaller town where no one spoke English 6 months a year, I think it would be easier to pick up. But this is like it is my fault. And I always say like, I need to just like buckle down and get lessons. And it's really just prioritizing. And I
right.
feel sometimes like my days are just wild,
Hmm.
especially when I'm on this side of the world. If I was in Europe, then I have the whole day, where here I feel like I'm just working all hours.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you've been able to get by though, right? I mean, you've been able to get by with just English wherever you've been going.
Yeah. I feel like English makes it super easy. And I mean, I kind of like when people don't know English and you have to communicate it in different ways. I think there's, like it's human to human and you figure it out. And those are like beautiful moments and memories that are created.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
the reason I'm asking that is because there's a lot of people out there who they only know how to speak English, and
Yeah.
they feel that that's a barrier to traveling. But I
Yeah.
think that's not really a barrier because, like you said, I mean, everywhere you go, in most places, at least unless you're really off the beaten track, with much people don't start that way.
Yeah.
English is okay. I mean, all you need is English, and you
Yeah.
eventually can learn a few words in other languages. But you've traveled everywhere, and you haven't really picked up other languages yet.
No, which is, like I said, super embarrassing. But I think it's because everyone else is trying to learn English. So they want to speak
Yeah.
English. They're
That's
like, oh
right.
my
They
God.
want to speak English to you, and I'm like, no, I want to hear
Yeah.
Spanish. No, no.
And then it's funny too, because in Italy, there was a place I was for a couple months in the Ligurian region, and no one spoke English. And every time they found out I was English, they're like, oh, I have an English friend. You need to meet my English friend. It was like the most exciting thing for them to do is like introduce you to someone that they know that speaks English, which was really sweet.
And
But
you're
I'm
like,
like, no,
no, I don't want
Italian.
to.
Yeah, yeah. But that yeah, I mean, I've never felt like I can't do, and I mean, with things like Google Translate and it's super easy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
Yeah.
Google Translate, yeah, you're great at segueing things, by the way. I love it. Uh, any tools or technologies that you use to help you with your life as a digital nomad?
I mean, I love eSIMs. eSIMs are my favorite thing.
Well, you have to
I
get
think
new ones whenever you go to a new country. Is that how that works? Or
well, I think fortunately for people in the US, they have really great plans. Canada is I think they're the most expensive phone plans is Canada.
it's true.
So it's ridiculous. So I'll typically get an eSIM that covers various countries depending on what my travel plans are. I mean, internet always has to be popping. And in terms of like softwares or tools, I'm very like, I run such a lean shop.
Hmm.
Most people don't believe it, but I really don't use much.
Really? Do you use any kind of international banking like Revolut or Wise or any of that stuff?
So I do use Wise. Revolut is not available in Canada, although I did connect
Ah,
with some
Canada. Here
people.
we go again.
The worst. And what's interesting is because I have my residency in Mexico, it's supposed to come to Mexico in the next couple months, which
Oh,
means I'll
nice.
be able to get it as a Mexican, which is nice.
Very cool.
But Revolut would make life so much easier, but they really make it hard for Canadians. So I do use Wise. Yeah, that's the
Nice.
default. Yeah,
And do you do your own taxes or do you have somebody do it for you in Canada?
I have, I have a lovely accountant.
Excellent.
He's
That's the way
so
to do
good.
it. Because it's
Yeah,
complicated, right? It must be complicated with all the like different
yeah.
countries that but all your clients are in Canada or in the States or
So
where
in the
are they?
US.
Okay.
So they're yeah. So yeah, everyone's in the US and Canada. He's super great. He takes care of it. It's fairly basic, but as a corporation, like I'm not trying to do those things. That is definitely not where my strengths lie.
So do they pay a Canadian account? The American
Yes.
clients? Oh, okay. So they can just go direct. So they can
Yeah.
use Zelle or one of those other wire transfer mechanisms
No,
to
we
pay
can't
you.
even do that. We don't even have Zelle. We have literally email transfer, which is it's
Canada was supposed to be
terrible.
I thought you guys were on the forefront of things. What's going on? It's like it's a little behind.
Very behind. No, but it's usually just like wire transfers.
Hmm.
Yeah, which work well. But
So
we'll see. Like when I set up all my new stuff, who knows
nice.
what it will look like? Yeah.
So what was the most surprising thing that you learned when you first started doing this? Like your biggest surprise?
How many people live in a system that they really believe there's no way out of,
Mm,
and they feel trapped. And I
yeah.
was like, you're not trapped.
Yeah.
They want you to feel trapped, but there's ways out. And anyone can do it, but there's definitely a lot of like limiting beliefs or like I wish I could, but I can't. But I'm like, but you can.
Yeah.
Anyone can.
You know a lot of I bet you know a lot of people who are like that. They're like, "Oh, I wish I could live your life." And it's like,
Yeah. And
"You
I'm like,
can."
you
What's
can.
stopping you?
Like, if I can do it, let me tell you, if I can do it, you can do it. You can do it. Exactly. Yeah. But I'd say that's probably like that. And then also just seeing how many people do care about their freedom and
Mm,
do create a life that allows them to be anywhere in the world. Um, so there's definitely like a huge polarity. Um, and I think it's nice to like inspire those who want to do something different and transition more into this lifestyle, but it's also super refreshing to have conversations with people who are already doing it.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah. And then a lot of times too, like in Mexico, you'll have people come for like a vacation or, a weekend or a week here, a week there, and then they're just blown away by the fact that like you live here.
yeah. You're like,
And I'm like,
"How
yeah,
can you do that?"
you can do it too. Yeah. I'm like, it's not that hard. You just got
Yeah.
to go.
But my boss wants me in at the office 9 to 5 and blah blah blah. And I was like,
Yes, which is so painful.
"But you're a recruiter. You can help me get a new job that's remote, right?"
Yeah. Yeah. Then that happens. And I'm like, well, I don't specialize in remote work, but I can try. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you had like a one like solid like the biggest piece of advice you'd give to somebody who's thinking about doing this but hasn't quite done it yet, what would you say would be the biggest piece of advice?
Don't let fear stop you.
Mm,
Don't don't create scenarios in your head. Like just do it, just try. And I think whenever I talk to people who are really serious about doing it, I just say book a month somewhere.
mm,
Don't take vacation, don't like not work, go and live somewhere for a month and work
yeah.
and see what it feels like and see what your productivity is like. See if it's, easy for you to balance and navigate. But I think like the easiest way is just try somewhere for a month.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just do it for a short period of time. And then,
Yeah, and just
of
like
course,
a
you have to,
little taste.
and you have to get your okay from your company unless you're already a remote worker, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. I definitely know people who get the okay. I definitely know people who work officially remotely, and I definitely know people who change their VPN and do it anyways.
Names will
Yeah,
not be shared.
it's pretty impressive how many people do that,
Mm,
which I think is crazy. But also, I'm like, one life. If this is how you
yeah.
got to get it done, this is how you got to get it done.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we, especially with COVID, and probably in 2008 is when this all first started, is that there used to be a lot of loyalty between employees and employers, right? There was
Mhm.
loyalty between the two.
Mhm.
And then in 2008, when we had the last recession, the loyalty between the employer and the employee kind of broke. They probably
Yeah.
said, you know what, if you go, then great. There's busloads of people pulling up to take your job. We don't care. But the opposite loyalty, the employee to the employer, didn't change.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and they didn't realize that. So they didn't realize that, hey, my employer's not loyal to me anymore. And that's
Yep.
when people realize that, it's like, holy crap, now I have to do this myself. It's like it's my responsibility. My career is my responsibility, and I have to
Yep.
do this. And COVID just made it worse because it gave people so many more options to be able to work away from the office,
Yeah,
right?
and they got to finally embody and feel what that is
Yeah,
and know that it's possible. And I think that was like a huge wake up call for people to realize, like, wait, like I am way more productive in this environment. I am way more productive when I don't have to spend an hour and a half going to work and an hour and a half back. And like time is, something that is very limited
yeah,
and won't get it back. And when you can carve out more hours in your day, like, why would you not want to be in full control of your schedule?
yeah. So if you're not
Yeah.
working, so if you want to do this and you're working for a company that doesn't want to let you do this, then find another job. Is that the solution?
Find another job or become a consultant, create a lifestyle business, but just don't stay where you're not happy.
Yeah.
Like, and that was actually like, I think even during the pandemic, I traveled a lot because I was like, you can't tell me that I have to give up 2 years of my life that
Mm,
I'm never going to get back. And I think a lot of people are they're afraid to just do what they want and they can't. Don't let anyone tell you you can't.
right. And then just do that little trip. What if they think a month is too long? Is it okay to do shorter than that, or is it
I think a month is a great way to really, I think anything less than that is more like a vacation. Like you really
yeah.
want to treat it as like, I'm going to go and live somewhere for a month. And a
Hmm.
month goes by like that so
Yeah.
fast. But I think it's, if you go with the intention to work, then you understand, especially who you are as a person. It's like, are you easily distracted? Can you stay
Mm,
focused? Do you know how to put your head down and really structure your day to be productive? Where I think maybe when you go for like a week or two, it's like more like vacation mode.
yeah. And I think that's where people normally sort of their mindset normally is when they're traveling now, because they go, I only have these 2 weeks. When I'm on vacation, I'm going to shut off completely and I'm not going to do any kind of work. And this is a complete,
Yes,
180 of that, which is like, no, you're still working, you're still on the job, but you're in a different place, right? And with
exactly.
surrounded by different people. You're still working. You can still work the same hours and talk to the same people. I mean,
Mhm.
when you're on your Teams meeting, it doesn't matter whether you're in Mexico or in California or in Athens, you're still on a Teams meeting, right? It doesn't
Exactly.
matter. So
Exactly.
you have to get over the fact that you're just
Mhm.
still working. You're just
Yeah.
living your life. It's not a vacation. I think that's tough. That's tough for a lot of people to not be in vacation mode when they're away.
And I think that's the biggest challenge. And that's where you have to see like how do I manage that? You know, because you're in a new place, you want to explore, you want to see, but like you also have this responsibility. So it's like, are you able to do both?
How are you able to do that? I mean, weren't you when you were first going to these different places and like fast traveling through that? Weren't you like were there to see the place, right? It was hard for you to work at the same time.
I'm very much like a get shit done girl. So like if I have to get it done, I'm gonna get it done. I will figure it out. And I
Is that is that your name on Substack? Is that going to be the name of your
yeah,
newsletter?
get shit done. Yeah. But I just like I make it happen. And I think, you know, everything is the priority. And if you want to carve out time for something, you're gonna be able to figure it out. And you also have to carve out time for the work that matters. I mean, it's different when you're not running your own business and you're getting paid by someone else for specific hours of work or however it works. But for myself, I'm just really good at prioritizing, and I know what my energy level needs to be and the environment I need to be in to get that type of work done. So wherever I'm at in a search or with clients or my workload, like I'm able to decide where and how and what my day is going to look like based on that.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to mention is like a lot of people think that you have to be making a lot of money to do this as well, right? That you got to have a lot of money banked up or you have to have a lot of money, but it's actually cheaper to live outside of North America than it is to live where we are. Like it's super expensive here. I know Toronto is very expensive as well, but you leave and it's like, you know, you mean I don't need to make $250,000 a year just to survive? Isn't that great?
It is. And that's the thing is like some cities will be super expensive. Some places, not so much. It really is like, I mean, the cost of living, depending on where you are, is substantially lower for sure. But it is crazy because then the more digital nomads go somewhere,
the more expensive it gets.
Yes. Including where I am right now. So it is, you're spending $6, like $6 on a coffee.
What? I just spent $7 on a coffee the other day. Here. What's going on? Mexico's expensive now?
What's going on is everyone's moving here. So they're like,
so us digital nomads, we're ruining everything. I hear Lisbon, which is one of the top destinations, is like, don't go there anymore.
It's the last time I was there was 2023 September. I spent the month of September there, and it's changed so much, and it's so much more expensive. And I mean, that was in 23. Like we're going.
So now it's like, forget it. Don't bother.
Yeah, which is really sad. And like, it's something I actually think about often is like, I'm part of the problem.
Yeah,
we
are.
And I understand this. And because I know I'm part of the problem, I'm way more intentional with like where I spend my money.
Right.
And when I see tourists lining up at a Starbucks, I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
I would never go to a Starbucks outside of the country.
I mean, I won't even go to Starbucks in Canada or the US, but I'm just like, did you really travel all this way to go get a Frappuccino?
I need my frap.
Some really great coffee at some incredible local coffee shops. Like it blows my mind, but clearly for Starbucks to even pop up in a place like this, which is insane, it's because there's a demand.
Yeah.
And I think it's the type of traveler, you know, and when a digital nomad community makes something cool, like unfortunately, this is why we can't have nice things.
Exactly. Well, everybody needs to have their iced Dubai chocolate matcha frap. So that's important.
Exactly. With your name spelled incorrectly. Yeah. It is one of like the most painful things to witness, but it is what it is. And it's
the Americanization of the world. Like the digital nomads are we're taking over.
Yeah. And it's sad. It's really sad.
Yeah. Well, hopefully. But basically what you're saying is do it now before it's too late, right?
Yes. And find the places that are not overrun. I mean, I really do love where I am, and every year I think it might be my last because of how fast it's growing. But you can still have a very authentic experience if you know where to go and the places to avoid.
Yeah. You just have to go a little further out. That's all, I think. It's
Exactly.
just
But
still
there's
so much of the world to explore.
exactly. Like I said, just like here, there's tons of tourism and digital nomads. I've been in places where I'm the only one there.
There you go. See, it's still possible. Well, this has been
Exactly.
great. This has been great. Thank you so much. I love this. So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
LinkedIn,
Hmm.
Christine Spagnuolo, or Substack. Check out my remote recruiter, Substack. It's
Nice.
new and growing, and I absolutely love it. And
It's you're not going to rename it "Get Shit Done, Girl" because that's
yeah,
what
maybe that'll be like my next one. Yeah, but no,
in
I'm
the
a huge
rebrand. In the rebrand.
yes, but huge fan, and like even being able to meet you there, I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Okay, so I will put all those links in the show notes and people can
Thank
go
you.
directly to your site and you will, like if somebody sends you a message, you'll respond like everybody else I know on Substack. And,
100%.
like it's like every single person I've interviewed has been so happy and you're like also incredibly happy. So I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great life.
Thank you. Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity. I love to connect with people that are doing similar things. And like I said, like I'm really here to support your mission and getting more people out in the world. There's a
Excellent.
whole world to see. So thank
Huge.
you.
Thank
Yes.
you. All right.
Thank
Great talking with
you.
you.
Okay.
Thanks.
We'll talk to you
Bye.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Chris.
Oh, I'm living that nomad life, city to city, feeling alive. From mountain tops to ocean drives, unchained, I thrive, I thrive. Oh, I thrive, I thrive.